All right, so what we're going to look at is an introduction to different rates of change. Now, rates of change is something you'd be familiar with in your everyday life. Basically, rates of change are talking about how one variable changes as another variable changes. Now, oftentimes, one of those variables is time. So how does some quantity change as time changes? And a good way to introduce it is to think about pouring water into different kinds of containers. So you'll see down here, we've got a container that's got this shape. And what we're going to do is we're going to pour some water into it. We're going to use our imagination a little bit, and we're going to see what happens. So let's just do that first. So let's pour the water in and see what happens. And then there's a bit to talk about here. All right. So you might have noticed at the start where the container is widest, the depth of the water is increasing less quickly than at the top of the container. And, let's be a bit more mathematical about it. So if we look, as time goes from 0 to time going to 2 seconds, we can see that the depth only increased by 4. So, yeah, the depth only increased by 4 in a period of 2 seconds. However, between 2 seconds and 4 seconds, we went from 4 all the way up to 16. So the rate of change of depth with respect to time was much larger between 2 and 4. So it might be a bit more obvious now if we play it again. You'll see that when it starts off increasing more slowly. And I've got to get them both working. And then as it gets towards the top of the container, it starts to increase more quickly. So that's the basic idea of rates of change. In this example, we've got a changing rate of change. Sorry, I should say we've got an increasing rate of change in this example. Okay, so hopefully that's a bit of an introduction. You sort of get the idea of what we're trying to introduce there, because it's a good way to introduce some calculus ideas. So hopefully that clarifies some things.